I'll be showing you exactly how I make money while the market's either going up or down. It really does not matter. This strategy is bulletproof. This is literally the strategy that made me profitable at Memecoins. All right. So before we get into the strategy, we need to do filters, right? We need to do filters. We need to understand what coins to buy, and then we can break down exactly how we find these coins and what coins we're buying and what coins we're not buying. All right. So, okay. Craziness, right? This is the trenches. This is the trenches. So, you just got to jump in and just lock in. All right. Anyways, so everybody, like all these like big gurus tell you to sit on new pairs. In my opinion, like, yes, you can make money on new pairs. Yes, you can make money on Twitter tracker. But the thing is, these dudes are literally just like max extracting farmers that will literally just like have mega copy traders. They just mass blast multi-wallet a new pair, right? Literally multi-walleting is the same as bundling. I don't want to hear any other like differences. Like, it literally is the same exact thing. All right. So yes, you can make money on new pairs, but you have to realize like this, the entry level, like the skill gap entry level, right? The people that you're going to be like, when you get into the trenches, right? If you're starting off on new pairs, you're in like, like say in like Apex lobbies, like you're in Predator lobbies, or in like Call of Duty, like, Fortnite, like you're at like the highest level of like sweats and bundlers and farmers. All right. So with final stretch, the sweats are still on final stretch, but you can already see whether they were in and out of a coin. So they're already out of the coin and they've rotated into another new pair, another new pair, another new pair, right? Or you can wait for them to dump all their tokens, right, on everybody else, and you can get in on those entries, right? So that's essentially what the strategy is. And we're basically getting in these high volume, small pumps, right? And basically extracting, right? Just cycle through, in and out, and it adds up a lot, all right? So we're not going after these like crazy 100, 200, 300, 400% P&Ls. We're going after, small consistent wins that's like 30%, 40%, 50%, and stacking these on top of each other, right? And this is how you actually build a portfolio. And this strategy is scalping, right? I've mentioned it in videos in the past. The trenches is always changing, so I'm making another update video. All right. So for final stretch, of course, what we're going to want to do, depending on the volume, right, we're only going to want to have filters for pump fund and bags, right? Maybe bonk, but that's it. All right. Now for the age, we're going to want 30 minutes. We're going to want, because we don't want to see coins that have been trying to migrate for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, because we want to scalp things that have momentum, right? We don't want to be in a trade for hours. We want to make money quickly, all right? At least I do, all right? I don't know about you guys, but I like getting in and out of coins quickly, but it's not going to be as fast as new pair, in and out within 5 seconds, cupsy farming, all right? It's going to be a little bit different than that. Now, the top 10 holders, 40%, right? I've made videos breaking all these down. I think most of these are self-explanatory. You guys don't want snipers. You don't want half the tokens being held by bundles. Very simple, all right? Now for metrics, I like to see 10K minimum market cap. You can do this. You can adjust this to 12K, 15K. You can kind of play around with it, just depending on how the volume's higher. If the volume's higher, or if the volume's lower. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more lenient on what coins you're able to see, right? Because sometimes no coins will pop up, but that's also fine, right? It's sometimes fine to not take a trade. It's sometimes fine to just be patient, right? Sometimes the best trade is no trade, and you're gonna have to wait for 30 minutes, an hour for something good to pop up, right? But if you have consistency and you're not gambling and you're not degenerate in the trenches, then you can actually make a lot of money, all right? Believe it or not. Shocker. All right, so the next one is gonna be Migrated. So basically very, very similar, right? Basically going to be the same thing, but you can actually play around with the age as well. You can do 60 minutes. You could do an hour 20. I like to keep it at an hour 20. The reason why is because those coins that they run, they come down. It's been like an hour, hour and a half, and then they can start preparing for a next leg up, right? All the Jeets, all the craziness, it's kind of lost the hype. So you can kind of see, is this a good token to start building up? And then this is where an actual community starts to form, right? This is where an actual token community starts to form. The community doesn't start on final stretch, even though you might think it does. Even though you might see those community coins that have the Twitter linked and it's a community and everybody seems happy, the second this falls 10%, 20%. Everybody's no longer a community member. Everybody just doesn't care about the token. Everybody's flooding the token. I've seen this like 1,000 times. All right, so just that's just the truth. All right, now with Migrated, usually the community will die after Migrated if it hasn't already on final stretch, right? So you can see, has it died? And sometimes they just start to slowly get either caballed up or slowly bought up, right? And then the community starts, it's basically like when you hit rock bottom, right, in life, the same thing as a coin. You hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up, right? So if you can start seeing slowly it building up, right? And it didn't just die to zero. It didn't just go all the way to zero and it's dead and it hasn't had transactions for 5 minutes. If it goes down to 9, 10, 15K, whatever, this is why I have the metrics, right? These are all going to basically be the same as the other ones, but for the metric, I have it set to the minimum I want to see is 12K, because that shows that it's not completely dead at 5K market cap sitting and not doing anything, but it's also like a really good, buying opportunity, because that's usually when a coin's at support, right? When it's around 12 to 10K, that's going to be its like very crucial support, where if it's able to hold that and slowly start cooking up, that might be the floor, right? That's usually where a lot of coins floor if they migrated. If a coin migrated and it comes all the way down to 20K, 10K, that's usually going to be a bottom if it's a good coin, right? So I'm going to show you exactly how I find good coins. So basically, that is my filters. Very simple. For the final stretch and Migrated, they're a little bit more complicated. Not really though, but now we need to understand like what we're looking for and what coins we're going to want to see, right? So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 coins on final stretch, all right? But so let's see like this soul split coin, right? So nothing linked to it. Let's look at the coin. And yeah, so this is a scam coin. All right, so if you guys didn't already know, this is a scam coin. So I'll break down exactly why for you guys that are new. So if you guys aren't already on the 1 second chart, I highly recommend you do. The reason why is because every 1 second in the chart signifies, every one candle signifies 1 second, right? So why is this important? Well, we like to see every single transaction, and if you're on a 5 second chart, you're not going to be able to understand these candles, right? I know like understanding candles and all that stuff might sound weird, but I promise you it's very important. 95% of trading is actually psychology, and it's actually you versus you, right? Yes, you are versing other people in the trenches, but you're the one that clicks the buy button at the end of the day, right? And you're the one that clicks the sell button. So all you have to blame is yourself, which is just the pure truth. So we're gonna go back to the 1 second chart. I've seen some people trade on the 1 minute chart before, and I'm like, yo, are you crazy? Now, if the coin is migrated and it's a little bit older, then yeah, it's fine to get on a 30-second, 1 minute time frame. But with these coins, they are literally just straight up scams, right? So when you have charts that are like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, every one of these candles is 1 second, right? So tell me, this coin went from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, and went all the way up to 48K, right? This is literally, and then all this right here is just farm. So what these are, and you could just see it went all the way down and just floored to zero. What these are, they're just straight up scam coins, right? They prey on new people that don't understand how anything works. Whether they were poorly, I guess, educated on videos, or and they just jumped in the space with a completely different, and they're like completely different view on trading, even though it is like rough, right? The trenches are rough. They're not forgiving. They don't care about you, and most people just either like, oh yeah, new pair, buy, and then it's like, so anyways, you guys know what I'm trying to say. So when coins have these very, very, very fast, whatever comes up fast can come down fast. If it was a slow build up, then it shows more strength, right? And another thing we could check out, so I'm not saying copy trade anybody, right? But think about it. Why has none of my wallets that I track, right? I track like 300, 400 wallets. Why has none of them bought this coin, right? We're all looking at the same coins. It's not like they're looking at coins that are on like a different thing, right? Why are we all looking at the same coins together? And why we are, right? But why have none of them bought this, right? So you have to think like, okay, these people, some of them are smart, some of them are pretty dumb. It doesn't matter. So why hasn't none of them bought this coin? Well, Probably because it's a scam coin, right? Now, how are we going to be able to see this for ourselves, right? Instead of waiting for other people to make the decision for us. Now, it is nice to know when other people are buying and not, because it saves you like brain space. I don't know what the word is. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so we'll look at holders. Now, let's look at bubble maps. So we can see this bubble maps is wild. So we have, bubble maps here, all these little clusters, right? So basically, these wallets are all connected to each other, right? So that's like one thing. So you could use bubble maps faster. Axiom gives you a bunch of options, right? So if you guys want access to the trading platforms that I have, they're all free. I use Axiom. You can use Padre. You can use Nova. All of them are going to be linked down below, and they're all free, right? If you guys want the max discount and the max back on fees, I think you get like 40% back on all of them. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It supports me. It helps me make more videos. And yeah, they're all the best trading platforms. There's a lot of sketchy ones, so I have all the official links down there below. And also, if you guys aren't already in the Discord, you guys got to lock in. Best Discord out there, I'm not gonna lie. We do a bunch of cool stuff in there. Free tools as well. I do have a VIP section as well if you guys want, but the whole Discord is free and you can connect with people. I think, one of the most important things is having a community and having people to trench with. You should not be trading alone. That's just a very simple thing. You should not be trading alone. Now, yeah, this is very important. Another cool thing is obviously, you can see the bundlers visualize it right here. You see, this is a bundler. There's a lot of really, really cool things you can see, as well as where the wallets were funded, where they were funded from, right? So you can see this was funded from Binance 13 days ago. And if everything's funded from the same exact exchange, or they were all funded at the same exact time, like let's say all the wallets were traded were funded like 3 days ago, and they all said 3 days ago, and they were all funded like 5 minutes ago from a random wallet. That's like an obvious scam, right? Now, what we can see with this one, it's just not real volume, right? When you guys are trenching for a while, you can kind of start to see what chart looks natural and what doesn't look real, right? And this is just like not a good chart. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna blacklist this dev, right? Blacklist, that's all you do. Or you can hide the token, right? So now we don't have to see this on our final stretch. Then we move on to the next token, right? So I'm gonna go faster through this. This is what we call staircase coins, right? Staircase to heaven coins until down. You guys have seen this on TikTok, I'm sure, right? You've seen those memes. You've seen those fake rug pull videos. Well, actually not fake. They do rug pull it, right? But you know what I'm trying to say. And it goes up like this, and some idiot buys in, and I literally just showed y'all live. Bro, you're gonna think that was me, because like that's crazy work. I'm not gonna lie, that is crazy work. That is insane work. So basically, I just showed you exactly how it works. They basically buy with tiny amounts, like $2, $1 with spam bots like this, slowly, and then they wait for like Ruru Raggy to buy in, which I was this person too when I was a new trader. Like last year, back in September, I literally would ape a soul into these, thinking, they won't notice if I like get in, and if I just if I put in one soul, if I can get like 0.3, I'll be happy. If I get 0.3, I'll be happy, right? The second you buy, like if you buy in with $5, they're probably gonna wait a little bit longer to pull it. But if you do, like, it doesn't matter what you're buying with. They're gonna like cook you. They're gonna cook you. Do you know what I'm saying? It every single time. They're just waiting for that guy. You saw this transaction. All of it was tiny. Maybe this one was somebody small. This one was somebody small. But when they have a big transaction like this, right, like that right there, then they full on rug pull it. And that's what they do. They run this 24/7, and they prey on new people, right? Because there is new people in the space, and there always will be, right? That's just how it works, right? It's like a cycle. So this is what you don't want to fall for. Whether he threw in 1 soul, 2 soul, it doesn't matter. He's down 99%. And, sure, he can still sell for he could sell his 1 soul, which was worth once like 140 for only 1.4. All right. So that's very not good. So you guys saw this live. I hope this was a lesson for y'all. So we're obviously going to blacklist this dev because we don't want to see that token again or him making new tokens. Next one, Kirby. So this one looks like more of a real chart, right? More of a real coin. So what do we see here exactly? So bundlers look chill. Dex is paid. This is a very good thing because we can see, oh, okay, the coin has motion, right? It's getting motion. Someone actually put effort into the coin. Someone paid for the coin to be on Dex screener, right? To have a banner. So here we go. So what are we going to be looking for when we're trading this coin, right? So we can see Lek is in this coin. I think this is Rizzler, right? Or Chisler, whatever his name is. So he got in. So he's trading it a little bit. And it's getting a lot of motion, right? So it's almost about to migrate. Sorry, my nose is a little bit ishy. But yeah, so it's almost about to migrate. And typically, there is zones where people are going to want to buy and sell, right? So always it's going to be before migration, right? And after migration. But because people worry right before migration, oh, it's going to have a dump, right? So we can even set up, another thing too, I would set up quick things to interrupt everything before you start trading, right? Because I basically gave you a brief breakdown of everything. So quick things you're going to want to do. Instant trade, of course. Do not be trying to play around with like, oh, like this and doing that. It just takes too much time, right? Like if I do this, I can go like this, 0.5, and, or I don't know, I put 5 here, 0.5. And yeah, literally you could just insta buy. It's the same exact fees, right? And also for fees, I'm going to break down fees as well. So this is the fees that I recommend anybody, especially if you're trying to do a small port. So I'm working on a video for you guys on 1 soul challenge, right? So 1 soul to whoever knows how much, infinite, right, challenge. And yeah, so you can see, which is really nice. It shows you when Dex was paid, right? It was paid right here. And what happened? Well, it shot up like crazy because it's a bullish thing, right? It's a bullish thing. So if you guys didn't know that, Dex paid is bullish. As long as it's not a scam coin, right? So this one, we could see, oh, the chart's natural. It didn't look like this, like the other ones. It didn't look like a staircase. This looks natural. Now, where are you going to want to buy, right? Most people don't have any idea how to buy, how to time their entries. What we're looking for is a nice correction, right? So this went all the way up to 50K. We're looking like to like around a 30 to 60% dip, right? So we're going to want the price to come down to around this level, right? Like 30K. 25K-ish level, and that's when we're going to be wanting to scalp it, right? So we can see it's finally getting some sell pressure. Now, another thing I'm looking for is to look at the top holders. So we could see, okay, 3%er, and we're going to look at bubble maps just really quick. So there is some bundles, which is not ideal. We have a cluster. So yeah, so we do have some bundles, right? So we ideally want them to start clipping out a little bit because it doesn't look good on the coin, of course. So we're just waiting. So that was a nice sell-off. I kind of want to bid that right there. I'm just waiting for a little bit more selling. We're going to go ahead and bid 0.5 here. And I got filled after that guy, unfortunate. Look at that. All right. Hopefully we bid at the bottom. Okay, so I'm honestly going to take that. Easy scalp, right? Honestly, I should have waited a little bit longer. But that is what essentially the strategy is, right? We're waiting for the, I literally perfectly timed the bottom. Like I've done like, oh, it's so beautiful. Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously not every single time you're going to time the bottom. And yeah, with 0.5 is not that much. I'm not going to lie. Wow. So it looks like Lek bought it, or no, he sold. Whose candle is that? What's that? That's crazy. He had like opposite copy traders. When he sold it, just Drake candles upwards. Anyways, that's what I'm saying, right? When you visualize this, it makes a lot more sense, right? So how do you visualize it? So look, understanding support and resistance, right? I'm not saying you have to run like crazy technical analysis on coins, but it's very simple once you start like building that, like, I don't know how to explain the intuition. And once you do this a bunch of times, it just gets a lot easier. So if you don't want to waste your own money learning it, just paper trade. I've made a video. Look at my last video. It's on paper trading. It's free, and you could trade with fake Solana with real coins. And you know, obviously it's not real money, but you can get all the skills without any of the downside. All right. So why did I decide to put my line there, even though like sure lines mean nothing? Oh, that was a crazy. Okay, wait. Let me fix my thing back to 1. Okay, wait, that's, unless did they rug pull it? Let me check Twitter, unless they like did something with the community. Give me like one more nice candle. I think I need to check what they did with the community. Okay, we're taking that. Boom. I'm literally showing y'all how to scalp live, right? You know, I'm hoping it's easier. Yes, like, you know, I've made videos talking about it, but I hope it's easier, like just me showing you. I haven't even started the challenge, right? So we might just start the challenge a little bit early, who knows, right? So basically, it doesn't matter what you have, right? So like I said, I'm gonna break down my fees exactly how, and you can see how fast I'm getting filled, right? So I personally like using Axiom. Nova's really good as well. Now I'm just gonna wait because this might be another decent entry. Wow, that's dumping hard. Oh, I knew that was on. The only thing is, so we have Korean Quant and then this guy. So he full clipped. I'm just wondering. Oh, that would have been nice to pick it up again where I was, but I don't know. Getting a little bit sidetracked, but I'm just watching the coin just because it moves quick. Also, I'm going to zoom out a little bit on the chart because I was a little bit too zoomed in, just to kind of get the whole actual picture, right? If you're way too zoomed in, picture it like this. If you're way too zoomed into a coin, it's like having like, you know, like a Chad face, but like zooming into like one pip, like it's like looking like majestic as me, right? But then like you have like one tiny pimple and you're like, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying? Like, so zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out, and it gets you a way more clear version of the chart. Or you could be way too zoomed in to like a mad chopped coin, and then you zoom out and you're like, oh shoot, that looks like Gorlock the Destroyer. All right, so hopefully that makes you guys understand like in like a chill way. So you saw how fast I got filled. With small ports, this is what I use for fees. 20% on slippage and for priority, right? So this is what you're paying the blockchain, 0.001. And then for bribe, this is what you're paying JITO, right? JITO, which is a, you know, MEV protection, whatever. So this prevents you from getting like, you know, MEV. If you've seen what MEVs are, it's a sandwich bot. You know, your transaction will be like here, right? Or you put it here, and a sandwich bot ups the fee so it gets in front of you and it sells right after you. So you get a really bad fill price. You don't want that to happen. And yeah, these fees, if you do the math, like this is literally like 10 cents in fees. If you guys are worried about losing 10 cents, go to freaking McDonald's. If you're trading with 10 cents, 20 cents, like bro, let's be so for it. Like bro, if you guys are like, I'm literally looking at you in the eyes, right? Like I'm looking at y'all in the eye. Like bro, if y'all are trenching like with that, like bro, maybe if you're learning, but don't get mad if you lose money in fees, right? So these are like the absolute lowest fees that I would do. And honestly, they're really good. Like they're really, really, really fast. But yeah, so the next one, this is going to be my super fast fees. I can even go faster, but this is like just super fast, normal, chill. That makes sense. Like if I want to get quickly in and out of a coin, then this is what I'll do, right? So 0.005, 0.005, reduced MEV protection. I do this on all of them, by the way. I don't do secure. It's just slow. There's really no point. Reduced is like, it's just a go-to, right? Secure is like having like a Honda Civic. Reduced is like having a nice fast BMW. You know, I mean, that's pretty reliable. That's pretty reliable. So maybe I'll use a different car because, you know, Beamers are not always reliable. All right, and then 30%. Actually, I think I had it at 20%, but you can up it to 30. But normally I have 20%, and then this is like normal fees. If you're trading with like 2 SOL or more, this is what I would use. And yeah, these fees are so wow. See, you notice like I low-key G-did that pretty quickly, but what happened here, like think about it. You guys can rewind, and I was literally about to press the buy button right here. Like I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that candle I wanted to buy it really, really bad. So in those two tiny scalps, right? I would have essentially made the same amount as the coin kind of going up to here, right? So I could have made in this tiny session here, right? Or scalping here and here, right? I could have made the same amount of just waiting and holding the whole time without any of the like stress of holding. Yes, there's emotional stress in every single trade. You know, it doesn't really matter. You know, even if it's 1 SOL, it doesn't like, even 1 SOL, even though it's not that much, right? As a trader, like it's just a psychological thing, right? Like it's just like, okay, wait. Oh, that was a crazy bundle. So it looks like a decent buy, but I kind of want to see Korean Quant. Okay, wait, hold on. I just don't want him to like mega dump on me, but I think this could come up a tiny bit. I'm just waiting for like one nice candle or like one fat SOL buy. It's like not really recovering, so that's what I don't like. Let me see. Okay, it's 2 SOL, 1 SOL. Come on. It's like I have my finger on the sell button. It's just like not going up as I want it to. Y'all see that? I will take that. We'll take that. All right, boom. So we literally just made 0.4 off this coin. Bro, like if you guys really decide to lock in, if y'all really decide to lock in, you can make it, bro. Like, I'm just like a normal guy, like all of you guys. And, you know, sure, I'm not, bro, like, I'm not like a deca millionaire or anything crazy. Like, bro, like, you see Orangey, you see, like, all these, like, bro, like, good for them, right? Now, do I agree with everything that they say or, like, do or whatever, how they trade? You know, not necessarily, right? But, I mean, like, oh, wait, hold on. Wow. Oh, my fill was so bad. Hold on. I low-key might just I'm gonna get out. So that is a perfect example also of overtrading, right? So I'm just waiting just in case. But kind of going back to what I was saying, this strategy is bulletproof, right? This works even when the market's like cooked super bad, you know, or when, you know, it's kind of coming up, right? So we're kind of coming up today, so there's a lot more volume. So if you guys seen, another cool thing to check is right here is to see the volume. Right here on Axiom, it will show you the volume, which is a really important indicator, right? So we're gonna go ahead and look at this coin one more time. I'm just waiting just in case if Korean Quant sells. I just want to wait like 2 seconds after he sells, because typically then his copy traders get out, and then it's like he sells, it comes up tiny second, and then it drops super hard. That's typically most people that have copy traders. So I know this video is actually kind of going on a little bit longer than I wanted it to. Well, I mean, not that I wanted it to. I'm fine with making longer videos, but you know, obviously some people, I mean, most people here do have attention spans of a peanut. I mean, I think most of us do. I guess it's just I mean, that's just because like TikTok and everything, right? Everybody wants to have like that super quick dopamine, but yeah, like essentially you get that dopamine with trading meme coins. But you know, obviously, like, I'm not saying like that's a good thing, but I'm just saying like it's better than like a lot of other things that you could be doing in terms of like JOBs. But yeah, you can see how we played that token, right? And it shows on the chart. Somebody else might have bought it here. Everybody has like, you know, their own like place in the chart. Everybody has their own purpose. There's the holders, there's the Jeets, and you know, there's the people that nuke the chart. Everybody's like in here, right? Let's see, hold on. So it's kind of dying out. So you could kind of see it is downtrending. So it's kind of risky to buy in. We still do have, wait, do we have him in, or did he sell somewhere and I didn't see it? So yeah, I believe he's still in here. I don't know how much supply he has. Okay, so he's the third top holder. We still have a 2.75% holder. So if he sells, I honestly might clip out. This could be a floor. The reason why is because it's kind of showing a support, right? So if it breaks down, it's gonna get pretty nuked. But you could see this 20K. It's not perfect, but it's like around this 20K. It's respected it, right? Because it broke through here. So I'm not saying you have to be like a crazy like technical analysis, like, bro, like I'm not. I'm just saying like this is just, the thing is technical and whatever you want to say, like this is just psychology that I'm showing you, right? This is just like how, you know, other people think. And if other people think it doesn't matter if it's real or not. If other people are thinking the same thing, right? If other people believe on knocking on wood, or, you know, whatever other thing, right? Like whatever other thing it is, right? Then it becomes a reality, right? Especially with trading. If people think that on the chart, if there's like, oh, I'm gonna sell Bitcoin when it hits $1 million or when it hits 100K. Other people think that too, and there's going to be a lot of sell pressure there. So we could see it's not really like holding this. It's holding, but it's like, it looks like it's about to break, right? It's starting to look weak. It's not showing strength. So you just wait for those super big candles, right? But you have to like not just enter in randomly. You're looking for actual entries, big candles, big bundle sells, and also dumps, whether it's from like 30K to 20K or like 50K. When I was saying, I perfectly drew the line. If you forgot about it, go rewind. But yeah, I hope this video helped. I helped you. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak. I hope this video helped, you know, you guys. And yeah, basically this is me showing you exactly how I trade. And you know, 0.4, that's really not bad, right? Especially when SOL starts coming back up. 0.4 used to be like $100, right? Now it's like $50, $60. But that was in the span of like, I want to say 15 minutes, because I didn't start trading this coin till like 15 minutes in. I'll have to double check. But yeah, so if you just stack these consistently, right, you mitigate your losses small, right? So if it decides not to go up and it's not acting good, I'll take a 10-15% loss, right? Move on to the next coin, and you stack these, right? You can make 2, 3, 4, 5 SOL an hour, right? At the low end, and in the high end, I mean, boom, you don't have like 10, 20 SOL. And yeah, a lot of people are just satisfied with making 0.5 and 1 SOL a day, which is completely fine. And then once you start getting to that point, you're going to be like, dang, this is super possible. I'm going to aim for higher, right? At first I was completely fine with making 1 SOL a day. I was like, dang, like if I make 1 SOL a day, that's, 275, or not, sorry, 250, 260, and then you do that over the year, and it can add up to a lot, right? And then then you can make a 5 SOL, then you can make 10 SOL, and then you can start trading perps. You can do literally everything, right? So there's so much money to be made in this space. I hope you guys found this video useful. And if you guys aren't already in the Discord, make sure you guys join that. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. And yeah, thank you for watching.